Hey guys, it's Eric from Starcraft2Tactics.info. Today I'm going to be going over an amazing strategy that I came across. It's been around for quite a while. It's called the Dark Templar Rush. Now this is a very powerful and very effective strategy. The reason is because your enemy typically doesn't expect cloaked units this early in the game. Right now we're about 9 minutes into the game and I just warped in my first 3 Dark Templars. I'm planning on sending them right straight to his mineral flow. So what I do is rather than sending them in to just sort of attack whatever they come across, I go right straight for the mineral line and I start ripping apart as much as I can to prevent him from retaliating in any way. So let's see how it plays out. Now you can see here the placement of the shrine and the placement of your proxy pylon are very important. I placed it out here in the middle of nowhere because I didn't want my opponent to find the shrine and then start building detectors aggressively, because that would have interrupted my combat operations significantly. So rather than building this shrine up in towards my base, I built it out here, gave myself a proxy pylon, got a couple of gates. You can see here we got rushed by zealots and Zerglings rather early, but we managed to defend it off pretty effectively. Now let's see how these Dark Templars fare. So this is the first 3 I'm sending in. Basically, what's amazing about a Dark Templar is it's a one-shot kill for anyone working a mineral line. So basically, you can see here, the drones, one-shot, and the queens even are just like a few hits because they do 45 damage. Now you see here, the enemy has already responded by building detection, so my time is already working against me. So rather than trying to take out his base, I immediately go on to the next guy's base and start working on him, because I want to do as much damage to their mineral line as possible. You can see here, you know, it really basically cripples them for the next few minutes of the game. You know, because you know, we don't allow them to build detection, we don't allow them to build anything. It actually requires 2 waves of Zerglings just to take out these Dark Templars, simply because they can pretty much one-shot a Zergling or a worker since they do 45 damage, but they don't have very much health. So he even has to bring in reinforcements here from his expansion. And then finally they do eventually take me out, but I managed to cripple this mineral line, destroy this nexus, and just do a ton of damage to their overall resources and their overall mineral count. So now, as you continue to use Dark Templars throughout the game, you want to be very careful about using just Dark Templars. The trick of using just Dark Templars is great at first. Like, don't get me wrong. It works amazingly well at first because your opponent doesn't see it coming. After the first time, though, it basically becomes a matter of, you know, hey, we've seen that before. Here's some detection for you. Get out of my base. You know what I mean? After the first time around, your opponent's gonna, you know, we can see here he's got he has this overseer chilling out over here. He's not gonna fall for it again. He's not gonna fall for it 2 times in a row. However, his partner is not as smart as he is apparently. And one trick that I want to show you here real quick, which is what I'm doing right now with these 2 Zealots and these 2 Dark Templars. I'm using the Zealots as bait. The Zealots are essentially baiting for the Dark Templars, while the Dark Templars do the majority of the damage. Now, my opponent thinks he's being attacked by 1 or 2 Zealots, and then he suddenly realizes, oh wait a second, there's a lot more in there than just those Zealots. That's when he starts freaking out and he starts evacuating his drones and all that good stuff. You know, I managed to take out his queen, I managed to start hitting his spire and do all kinds of fun damage to him. It's kind of comical, to be honest with you. And then of course I send in more Dark Templars. We take out this expansion. Basically, this guy isn't building sufficient detection, first of all, which is one of the reasons why I continue to use Dark Templars on him. But another great thing is, you know, he's also Zerg, so his detection is primarily overseers, which have to be moved around. You know, there's the only good unit he has is you know, the spore colony, or spore cannon, whatever it is. So you can see here the Dark Templars so fast at taking out an expansion. And of course he goes in to build some detection. Do I allow him? I don't think that I do. No, I don't believe that I do. I send these guys in here. We start taking out these photon cannons, which is just an excellent strategy. It basically cripples him. And then, of course, we manage to take out his forge before he gets detection in here. which once again, you want to really just play on the whole detection weakness aspect of your opponent. I took out his Forge very intentionally because I wanted to make sure that if I decide to send some more at him, or some more at his opponent, or some more at anyone, that they would struggle to see the Dark Templars. So this is just one way of working the game very effectively that I have found to be, tremendously helpful. Now they originally attacked me here, but I guess they decided not to, or I don't know. They weren't playing their cards very wisely. They apparently changed their mind and decided to attack an expansion, which our expansions essentially are surrounded by photon cannons for the most part, up until a little bit from now. But basically, using the Dark Templars has allowed myself and my opponent to expand more aggressively while limiting the expansions of our opponent. Myself and my partner, excuse me. And even this expansion right here never quite get up and running, simply because there's always something hindering it. I build photon cannons right here. He eventually spots them and takes them out, but they manage to harass him quite a bit. I send in, my partner sends in Stalkers, and every time I send in Dark Templars from this point on in the game, basically what happens is I send them in as, assisted by something else. And what's great about that is, they see the other unit, they don't see the Dark Templars. So that's basically how you want to use Dark Templars late game. You want to assist them with Stalkers and Zealots as much as you can. Then, you want to let the Dark Templars, which do a lot of damage, for a fast little melee unit, you want to let them, do the job of, you want to let them do the job of doing the real damage on the ground. Yeah, he deflects that rather nicely. Yeah, in general, this ended up turning into a resource war in the later parts of the game, and what was amazing about it is just the sheer power of the Dark Templars and the Stalkers combined. Really, in the right places, really managed to win this game for us. Which, I'll show you how it ended. It actually, we ended up sieging this expansion right here, which I'll show you in just a second here. My friend and I, we bring in a pack of. You can see here it's a big pack of Zealots, but with them are Dark Templars. See, because the Dark Templars are very good at using the distraction of a non-cloaked unit to destroy any units that are in the area that do not see them. And while these guys are, taking out all of these units here, and not their base, crippling their base, my Dark Templars are just ripping apart these, these spine crawlers, which are going to be a big problem for the Zealots. So it makes life a lot easier. Having Dark Templars in your arsenal will increase the survival rate of any other infantry units you have. And at this point, this guy, he doesn't have a whole lot of minerals left at his main base, and he doesn't have any other expansions. He's essentially fighting a losing battle, and his partner just has those Void Rays, which, while they're definitely handy, they're definitely handy. They're not gonna be a massive game changer or anything. The one thing that does threaten us are these Broodlords right here, because Broodlords are an excellent counter to Dark Templars. With Broodlords plus detection can very effectively counter the Dark Templars, although unfortunately he tries to target this, which is basically my most important base. It's where I'm getting all my minerals from and all my gas. He targets this area, and he does it in a fairly effective way. He uses the Broodlords first to take out the photon cannons. The only problem is I managed to counter with Stalkers, and then eventually we send in Stalkers and Dark Templars, and it ends the game. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for highly effective air units like the Broodlords, because they will be a problem for you. But overall, Dark Templars, a great early game strategy. It's not that early. It probably happens around 3 or 4 minutes after the initial Zerg rush. If your opponent 6 pools, probably happens around 3 or 4 minutes. Right around 8 or 9 minutes, you can have Dark Templars in your opponent's base. But once you get them, you know, it's really a phenomenal strategy, and it's absolutely just incredible to use on an opponent that just is ill prepared for it. And at this point, he has enough stalkers, and they're not well enough defended that it's pretty much good game. You know, I got my stalkers and my Dark Templars coming in to back him up, and more of them on the way, and it's over. So that's how you use Dark Templars to rush, and that's how you use them to transition into late game for an excellent support unit, an excellent early rush unit. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Look out for my next video. For more, check out StarCraft2Tactics.info.